Hello, my dear friends. How are you doing? Hope you are having an amazing day and not having to deal with drama. Ready for new stories I have for you today? Let's go to the first one. And don't forget to listen to the end of the story, guys, to hear my insights. Enjoy the stories. And don't forget to like and subscribe. And of course, don't forget to leave a comment. My parents were together for 8 years, had me when they were 24, and when I, 17 male, was 3 weeks old, my mom found out my dad was cheating on her, and a few weeks after that, she found out he got another woman pregnant. Their relationship was ended for good, and my mom hates my dad. She tries to hide it from me, but I know she hates him, and I hate him too. My dad has a lot of kids and probably has a lot more that we don't know about. We know about 9 of us, me included, and all of us have different moms. He has sole custody of 2 of them, 14 and 12. He has a few he hardly ever sees, and the rest he has about 50-50 with, which included me up to last year. He's not a good parent. He hates my mom. Of all the involved parents, my mom is the most financially and emotionally stable, and has provided me with a life none of my dad's other kids get. I always have what I need for school, never have to worry about running out of clothes or toiletries, and we are comfortable enough that I get to go on vacations, and I got to take part in any extracurricular I wanted. This was not helped by my dad at all. This was all my mom and what she provided for me. She has also made it possible for me to go to college if I want to. My dad has always envied what my mom can do, and he complains about her not spreading the love to his other kids and not helping him out with the mess he made. My grandparents also hate my mom. They feel like she provided so well for me, she could have and should have ensured that any children related to me were okay enough, and that they didn't have to watch one sibling get a good life while the others all suffered. They also talk about my mom abandoning my dad and throwing away the family they could have had. I told them before, many times even, that my dad cheated and got someone else pregnant, and there's no coming back from that for most people. They disagree with this and say that many people make relationships work after cheating, and they can learn to love the kids and give them all a good life. But my mom decided to be selfish. They also say things sometimes about my mom being at fault for my dad having so many kids. They act like her leaving him made him go around impregnating every woman who'll sleep with him. It pisses me off. My grandparents turned up at our house while Mom was at work a few days ago and told me they wanted to give her a piece of their mind because I guess Dad found out through his lawyer that Mom had saved up for me to go to college. My grandparents started the usual crap about Mom being to blame for Dad having so many kids and not keeping it together, and how she was wrong for everything. Instead of saying to blame their son like I normally would have told them, they're more to blame than my mom since they raised him. They were furious with me and told me people blame the parents way too much. Am I the a-hole? OP's mother had responsibilities for only one child, OP. OP's grandparents should hold their son responsible for his life choices. He was already cheating when he was with OP's mother. Her staying would have resulted in worse outcomes for both her and OP. She isn't a parent to his other children. They have parents. They're just delusional people trying to blame her for their son's miserable life. Burning Sands 06 says, "Let me get this straight. Your grandparents think your mom is selfish for leaving your dad, who was the one who could not keep it in his pants. I've seen a lot of delusional things on Reddit, but this may be the worst one. It is true what they say. The best revenge is living well. You are living proof of that. Your mom has done a fabulous job with you. I do wonder if the grandparents would have the same thoughts if your mom was the cheater. We all know the answer to that." Only Ingenuity 7889 says, "Your mom threw away the family of a serial cheater and helping raise and fund 8+ kids that aren't hers? Please, don't threaten her with a good time." Not the a-hole. Your grandparents can start by looking in the mirror for someone to blame. Hugs to your mom. She sounds incredible. Thump My Poncho says, "Geez Louise, what a family of a-holes. Given your grandparents' nonchalant attitude about their son being a serial cheater and apparently putting 9 kids into the world without being able to care or provide for any of them, they are certainly in part to blame for his behavior. I guess they also failed to teach him what birth control is, and then expect your mother to take care of your clown father's other kids? My mind boggles. Not the a-hole. Your grandparents got off lightly with what you said to them. I would go no contact with the whole lot. If they show up to harass you, call the cops, get a restraining order, etc." My fiancé and I will be getting married very soon after being together for 4 years. A few months ago, He bought tickets to an art expo I didn't even know about and said it would be the weekend before we got married. He said that he wanted me to come and that some of our friends would be going, and it would be cute as it would be our last outing before the wedding. A few weeks ago, he asked if I still was down to go to the event. I said yes, of course, and said I was looking forward to seeing our friends. He mentioned he didn't think I would like the artists being shown because their art was more conceptual and loud, and he said he knew I preferred a different style. I reiterated that I still wanted to go. Even if I didn't love the art, I wanted to see our friends, and it was still a social event. He brought it up again this past weekend. He said, "Are you still coming to the expo? I mean, I have a ticket, but you should make sure you really want to, because I know it's not your scene." I started to feel a bit doubtful as to why he was pressing it. I asked him straight out why he bought me a ticket and asked me initially if he was so sure I wasn't going to enjoy it. He said he didn't want me to feel left out, but then he backtracked and said he did want me there, he just wanted to make sure. He kept mentioning how maybe I wanted to do a girls' night or something for the wedding. I've already told him through the engagement year that I didn't want any wedding party or bachelorette. It is a small wedding of 60 people, and we are fairly low-key. I became suspicious after that convo. The only reason I could think of is that someone would be there that he didn't want me to run into. And the only person I can think of that also likes this type of art is his ex-fling, Maya. I checked her social media, and sure enough, I saw she is planning to be there. She posted a flyer for the event a few weeks ago, around the time he first asked if I was sure I wanted to go. Some background here. Maya was a fling he had before me, and after his last real ex-girlfriend. When we began dating, he deleted her from all his socials because she kept trying to message him. When we went out to art shows and she was there, she tried to approach him a few times before she got the hint and stopped. We have had some fights about her before, mainly why he was hiding some details about their situationship. I also found lingerie that used to be hers once in his closet when we first started dating that caused a big argument. I'm feeling very upset about the event in general and feeling like I'm not welcome, despite it being his idea to invite me and get tickets. How should I go about discussing this with him? Should I bring up Maya being there and ask him bluntly if that's why he doesn't want me to go anymore? The last thing I want is to go into the week of my wedding being resentful and upset about this. Maricopa888 says, "Should I bring up Maya being there and ask him bluntly if that's why he doesn't seem to want me to go anymore?" Yes, of course. But don't frame it as a yes or no question. This gives him the chance to say she has nothing to do with it, or even ask why you're being so paranoid. Instead, tell him what you've noticed and lay it out just like you did here. Ask him why he's doing this and remind him he needs to be fully honest. Even typing this, I realize it's a very tough or scary question, and it's human nature to want to dance around it. But that's what you did the other time you brought it up. But you absolutely need to know. I mean, there's always a chance he'll honestly answer you, and it's something you didn't think of. Obviously, there's also a possibility you're right, and that's the scary part. Friend Lily says, "You need to have a direct, honest, and very serious conversation where you lay out this entire pattern with him and ask him why he continues to hide things from you. You should not marry someone you can't trust and or who you can't have these tough conversations with." Black Cat Sneak Attack says, "I'm sorry, but the fact he's actively dissuading you from going is super sus to me. Like, people are saying he wants to avoid drama, so then he should be the one deciding neither of you should go, instead of trying to manipulate you into not attending. The fact that he's totally fine spending time, without you, with a woman who's caused problems in your relationship, and not being upfront with you about it, would give me pause and make me consider if this wedding is even worth having." My mom and her husband have tried to coerce my youngest sister, 18 next week, to invite the husband's daughter to her high school graduation in May. People will be confused about why this is such a big deal, and I'll explain. My dad died when I, 30 male, was 5. Mom met her husband, Jim, when I was 8, and his daughter, Layla, was 6. Mom and Jim moved fast. They were married within 6 months, and it was just over a year after Jim lost his wife and Layla's mom. Layla hated it. She wanted to live with her aunt from the jump of the relationship and screamed the whole way through their wedding, which they went ahead with anyway. It was a total crap show. I had been so excited for Mom too originally because my dad was a piece of crap, and I felt she deserved so much better. Jim decided we should do family therapy to try to work through things. So for 3 years, we went in different combos. My half-brother was born 3 years into therapy, followed a year later by the oldest of my sisters. 2 years later, Mom was pregnant with my youngest sister, and things went to crap. Layla walked away from Mom trying to pick her up from school one day and told this girl's parents that my mom was trying to take her. The police were called, CPS came, Jim got involved, and for 2 days there were questions asked and Layla was spoken to. She asked if she could live with her aunt because she wanted to, and CPS told her she needed to live with her dad. So Layla decided since that didn't work, she would accuse my mom of not treating her right. Jim stood by Mom, and CPS investigated, but all of us were taken into temporary foster care while it was figured out. I was placed with my brother and sister while Layla went to her aunt's house. Through the whole thing, Layla and I were both interviewed countless times, and my mom was cleared. But it was decided Layla should stay with her aunt while she and Jim went to therapy together. Jim saw her for 2-ish years, until Layla told him she wanted nothing more to do with him. She also wished my mom and me dead, and some awful things on my siblings. The youngest never met Layla at all. The other two don't really remember her, but they know we were taken off Mom and Jim because of what she said. We also know from Jim's parents that she still hates Mom, me and them. But she moved closer recently, and Jim has been trying to reconcile with her. Now, he and Mom want to try to force this happy family dynamic on my sister, and she's feeling so stressed about it because she doesn't want Layla there. She asked me to speak to Mom, but Mom said I had no idea what I was talking about. So I told her and Jim when I saw them together that they didn't get to ruin my siblings' special events to get what they want, and that they can make plans to meet with Layla without risking my siblings' feelings. They tried to say Layla is my sibling, our family too, and I'm being hard on them. Am I the a-hole? Therapy never fixed the problem, and they hope that a graduation will magically make everybody love everybody? OP was the one torn from his home and thrown into foster care for the stepsister's lies. It's not for Jim and Mom to decide if and when others forgive that, and certainly not appropriate to push that agenda at a special event. OP's parents should meet Layla apart. Enough drama. They can bring her to a public restaurant. It would be better. If Layla ruins the graduation, they'll lose one more daughter. Dart 1126 says, "Not the a-hole, but Mom said I had no idea what I was talking about." Ah, the old history rewrite that's basically gaslighting. This is your sister's graduation. She's basically never met Layla, but knows from the rest of you what she has wrought. She never met her because Layla chose to leave the family. Your sister's graduation is not the place to try to reinstate Layla into the fold. Not sure any situation is, but should be of everyone's choice. They let Layla make the choice of who she lives with is around years ago. They need to do the same for all of you now. Far Dependent 8975 says, "Not the a-hole. This girl is a complete stranger for your sister. It's ridiculous." Either way, the argument is simple. A graduation ceremony is neither the place nor the time for a reconciliation meeting. Your little sister will feel awkward at best on a day that should be full of happy memories for her. Ideally, it would be better if you could be there for her. They could always bring his daughter over without invitation. Frankenstein's Kid says, "Not the a-hole. I hate when people with kids decide to get married without considering their kids' feelings. It's all about how they feel and what they want out of it. They're being selfish. They're acting like their kids aren't people with thoughts and opinions. Then they try to force everyone to play happy family so they could live in their fantasy world where everything is picture perfect. Your sister doesn't want Layla there. I'm pretty sure Layla doesn't even want to be there. Now they want to hijack your sister's graduation and make it about meet and greet? They're being selfish again. It's been years. Layla made it clear that this pretend happy family is not going to happen. They need to stop." I, 34 female, am in the process of divorcing my husband, 33 male. We're on good terms and still live together in my house. The house is in my name and was bought before marriage, which means my husband is not entitled to it according to my country's law. He hasn't moved out yet because of his financial issues. I'm okay with it. He just started a new job and hopes to move out in a month or two. My mother-in-law is a nasty person, and we never got along. She never liked me and made sure I didn't feel welcome in the family. Last month, she called me on my birthday to tell me she's glad she no longer has to buy me anything for my birthday because I'm no longer family. She had recently found out we'd be getting a divorce. Yesterday, she called me. My ex was at work and didn't pick up. That's why she called me, not him, to inform me she'd be coming over for 2 days next week because she will be having a medical procedure done in our city, the capital. She does not drive, so she can't go straight home after the procedure. She was planning to spend the night and take a bus the next day. I told her absolutely no. She's no longer family. The house is mine, and I don't want random people I don't even like in my house. Neither she nor my ex can afford a hotel. He can't drive her back because of his new work, I won't because she's no longer my problem. My ex is very angry with me and told me I shouldn't be taking out my frustrations on his mother. I'm not. I just don't want her here because I don't like her, and I don't feel like I have to put up with this anymore. We're no longer a couple. Am I the a-hole here? DC Number Nerd says, I'm guessing your soon-to-be ex didn't adequately stand up for you when you were married, if your mother-in-law felt comfortable enough to call you on your birthday and be rude. So this is a him and mother-in-law problem, not your problem. Edit to add a verdict, not the a-hole. Space Jesus is Here says, if you want your mother to stay with you, go get your own place. Since we're broken up, you're a guest in my home and are not entitled to your own guests. If you let her in, your things will be outside within the hour, not the a-hole. OP, the cool thing about being done with the relationship is that you don't need to argue anymore. If he's upset, that's his problem, not yours. Piscon says, not the a-hole. Your ex-mother-in-law made it very clear that you aren't considered her family, so she doesn't get to ask for things. Having said that, please, get rid now of the ex-husband. He will not go away peacefully, as he has said, and him being angry about your choice about his mother is a red flag. He clearly thinks you owe his family favors, and also thinks your actions are a manner of vengeance against him. That's a huge red flag.